like possibly a little nerves coming out the gate with Greg Dow.
Yeah, for sure.
1-0-1.
And that's probably the hand speed we're looking from Anderson Scarpa. Greg and Anderson played together for quite some time, a couple years actually. So they do know each other very well on the court, practice together. Greg's gonna be on the right, Scarpa's gonna be on the left. That's how it works.
Yes, for sure. Greg is pretty dangerous there on the right.
Absolutely. He's huge, and you think with his size, he's also good on the left, but that's just where he likes to play. He's just super comfortable on that side.
Yeah, and Scarpa can be very tricky with his little bit of a unorthodox technique.
Absolutely.
And it's, yeah, they're a tough team.
And we've got Christian Alshon, Quang on the other side. Big serves, a lot of spin.
Big drives.
Big drives. It's they're going to want to put a lot of pressure fast on these two. They've been waiting to play this match for about an hour. The match previous was on for a great match, very, very long.
Yeah, sometimes it's easy to have a slow start after a
Absolutely.
break like that. Oh, there's a ball.
Well, this is happening all the time. Comes into the booth over here.
2-0-2. Come on! Point.
And you can even see how much Greg wants to pull. He almost refuses to hit a forehand.
Yes.
It's, but he has that nice backhand punch at the body, and he's moving over. But that across the body attack is a really good one.
Yeah, absolutely. He's sitting back end pretty heavy there, sliding.
0-3-1.
I mean, phenomenal coverage from Scarpa on that. That's frustrating point to loss when they lose when they're playing such good defense. And Alshon finds it, turns it back into an offensive opportunity. Fantastic reach. To come into this match, Quang and Christian took out Brendan French and Julian Arnold, which is a great win. 11-5, 11-2. Pretty solid.
Yeah.
And I mean, the scores, Anderson Scarpa and Greg Dow playing Jaume, Martinez Vic, and Tyson McGuffin, 11-2, 11-4.
Wow.
That's a solid win coming from these two.
Yes, very solid. They've been playing well all day today.
Yeah, they've been working so hard. They drill a lot, practice a lot, work together, getting better at building their team. Don't always play mixed doubles. They often just play men's doubles. Kind of an example of some of these court issues that we've got. These are kind of the slower courts at the venue. They're a little sticky, a little gritty.
They're still pretty fast. The ball skids a little bit.
Yeah. And that's where Anderson can be super tricky. And if he's playing I think both of them, they just got to play confident.
Right. Absolutely. Sneak attack.
Little sneaky there, just not even thinking it was coming.
6-3-1. Come on! Second serve. 3-3-2. Come on! Out.
A little bit fired up. I mean, 3-3 kind of early in the game. They're going to want to start to break away here, getting off the board a little bit.
Yeah, and I think Christian and Quang as well, they both kind of feed off of that energy. So
Absolutely.
I think it's crucial that they do bring that.
And that right there, a prime example. Great defense to offense, and then you know you do have Greg. He's still trying to kind of defend on that backhand instead of looking to counter on that forehand. So you're going to see, I think, a lot from those two going more across the body at Greg's shoulders or hips.
4-3-1. Yeah. Point.
And there's kind of that little breakaway right now. 5-3-1.
5-3-1.
And that has one thing to we would put in this court. That side that they are serving from is definitely a smaller amount of space between that baseline and that divider.
Second serve. 5-3-2. Yep. Yep.
That was a big serve from Christian.
Huge. A lot of pressure, and you can see it wasn't the best return, but it got him to the net, and
it worked.
Absolutely.
Come on. Serve.
I think they definitely are playing Quang in that backhand corner quite a bit.
3-5-2. Watch. Come on! There we go.
Both Greg and Anderson have got the Crush Yard shirts in, hometown in Charleston, a great facility out there.
No way!
I think you will not see much in motion from Scarpa, but maybe a little more from Greg for sure.
Yeah, I agree with that.
6-3-1.
I mean, a great get. A little frustrating for sure. I think these are kind of some players that are going to be taking advantage of the rule change with the serve. But getting a little more height on the ball is going to be extremely beneficial for both Christian and Quang.
That was a good punch there from Greg. Kept it low.
Yes.
3-6-1. Yeah! Come on! Second serve. 3-6-2. Point.
Just a little tiny bit long on that one. And that's a point I think they desperately need right now.
Yeah, I was going to say now they better get some points here.
Getting off that three that they were on for a while, it's probably the hardest thing.
Yes.
But hopefully it'll, yeah, and it's kind of that, I love the speed up on the forehand, but I think he's got to be ready for another forehand to come back.
Right, exactly.
6-4-1.
Wow.
I
Second serve.
have no idea where that came off. I thought it went up his arm, but apparently not. And if it's and you can just see Scarpa sweats a lot on the court. And I'm wondering if he's losing his grip a little bit. You can kind of see it's basically falling off.
Yeah, I think he changes his paddles, possibly even
Yes.
the grips, and yeah.
Watch. Watch.
That's a big point. And we are back here at the PPA Tour in the beautiful Bristol, Tennessee. We are at the Bristol Sportsplex. I am Sarah Ansberry on the mic with Martina Frantova. First time on the mic, how's it going?
So far, so good. I mean, you're definitely making it easier.
I always say I knew that. I feel like I'm doing okay. I mean, phenomenal point. That's a great one to come back off of a timeout that Dow and Scarpa took. So now they're getting that serve back. I mean, 4-8, not too much damage on that side out.
Let's see if they can score a couple points here.
Foot fault off of the log, so either way he was done, but phenomenal point. I love that consistency that Quang Dong has to stay in that. Didn't pull the, I mean, very smart. He waited to pull the trigger at the right time. I think that's, we're talking about Scarpa being a little unorthodox. That grip is tough.
It is, especially with that roll, heavy roll thing from Quang Dong.
Absolutely.
But then he can do that. Oh.
Well, let us see if we get a video challenge. That'd be fun. And it's some kind of high balls that they've missed, and taking them to 9-4. And I think the big thing is, will this affect their mental game?
Yeah, we will. Yeah, I think a little bit too high, Anderson there.
And almost that's a tough ball. I almost wondered if that ball was wide. And I think Anderson did too, but I think it would be tough to call anything right now after maybe the game point. And that's just frustrating. Right idea. They lost that challenge. That's what Greg Dow has, is they have it, and so that sure coming into that next one. But they definitely have the skills. They just, I think you're absolutely right. Got to be a little bit more consistent, be willing to stay in that point. I think that's the benefit. You've got Alshon and Duong just attacking at the right times.
Yes, but with all that being said, I mean, Christian and Quang Dong, they can both be a little bit inconsistent at times. So
Absolutely.
I feel like if they wait for their opportunities, it might just arrive. Good shot.
Yeah. And so far, they just haven't put that pressure on. There was kind of a moment that they were holding him at 3-3, and then, but the opportunity is there. great job getting out of the way of that ball. I think
Yes.
maybe that was probably not the right choice. What I really actually like to see right now is Greg and Scarpa just moving the ball more. I feel like they're just, you know, kind of playing that same space in that same corner.
Right. That was a perfect point right there.
I mean, just clean. And those are points that they desperately do not want on the other side.
There's the back end.
I mean, there it is. They're going to do everything for it.
Yes.
And if it's working, it's great. And mind you, it's pretty big to come like the Quang Dong. I mean, talking about big drives. I mean, that's those are coming aggressively. I just feel like there's all this space. I mean, Christian just feels no pressure. So
Right.
he's pinching the middle more and more because he knows that they have not played to that forehand side for the dink. Went a little bit more into that middle, but
It seems like they're avoiding Christian a little bit there.
way too much.
Okay.
Oh, I mean, that's not something that's called a lot. That's
No.
because it's not a mistake we make a lot. I'm surprised by
Yeah,
a
so
little
Quang
bit.
Dong basically passed the net point on that point, and he didn't hit the ball, therefore it's a fault.
And that's something I think a lot of rec players don't recognize a lot. I see those mistakes happen a lot at non-pro level, essentially. But just trying to put some pressure on them with that side. Still not an issue, though, because they're up 4-0.
Yes.
So I definitely like those patterns a little bit more, though, just making them both play rather than letting Bristol, Tennessee is where we're at. We are back in this men's doubles match. And Alshon and Duong have been really kind of heavily in lead of this match. And that's kind of the same kind of pressure. I'm Sarah Ansberry here in the booth with Martina Frantova, and she's currently trying to create some shade for us because it is warm out here, let me tell you. Beautiful facility, beautiful courts out here. We're looking at mountains in the background, so. So we've got a little shade, which will help our cameras too when we go through the review. I think just right now, this game is kind of getting away from Anderson and Greg. Got some advice on the bench from Johnson Cola, so I like they're getting some feedback. But there's just so much frustration off that other side of the court. But that's the singles drive that he's got. And,
Amazing shot right there down the
I
middle.
feel like that's the first one he's kind of really pulled out.
Agreed. I mean, that's what you can see. He's feeling confident. He's feeling comfortable. He can go for the shots.
mean, he wasn't even concerned about coming forward.
No.
He was like, I'll hit a few more ground strokes. Let's do that.
I'll
yeah.
just hang out in the back here. Christian, you stay up there.
Some high formation. Let's stop the bleeding just a little bit, and they'll get that serve. And they're definitely not out. This is a match they can come back in. And that right there is the problem. If you're not going to challenge Alshon in that corner at all, it's going to make him feel more comfortable to just squeeze over into Duong's side of the court and cut off the ball.
Yeah, they desperately need some points here. Get on the board.
And that's even, we talk about, you know, Dow has a tendency to be very backhand dominant. So does Scarpa. And so that is an issue right there, that he kind of got caught at that body. And I was literally just thinking in my head, we have not seen any mistakes from this. I mean, they've been so consistent, but maybe I jinxed him on that.
I think you did.
Wow, I loved that lob. It was so awkward and just not something we've seen him hit all match. And I mean, 9-0. 9-0-2. And that's what we're talking about, the perfect plays. I mean, if that is tough when your opponents are doing that and getting pulled off over and over again on that. And that gives them a match point. And there it is. Tough point, a tough match overall. I think it's a tough loss for Scarpa and Dow. They played phenomenal, great